You're watching live coverage of the 90th Ohio FFA State Convention. This webcast a production of Ohio's Country Journal and Ohio AgNet. FFA Convention coverage at ocj.com, powered by Wilmington College.
I believe in the future of agriculture. This familiar statement also rings true for FFA members across America. I've discovered many parallels between my experience in FFA and WC. Both seek to foster personal growth and develop leadership skills through hands-on learning experiences while also preparing young men and women for career success. Since my time in the Blue Jacket has come to an end, I believe in the future of agriculture even more, and I believe the future of agriculture continues here at Wilmington College.
And now live from the Celeste Center in Columbus, Ohio, the team of Ohio AgNet and Ohio's Country Journal and your 2018 Student FFA reporters.
Hi, Matt Reese here from Ohio's Country Journal, and we are proud and excited to be live streaming the Ohio State FFA Convention and excited to be backstage with our group of wonderful, talented student reporters this year. A great group of young ladies. Ladies, would you please introduce yourselves?
Hi, I'm Emily Bookless from the Ridgewood FFA chapter. Hi, I'm Lauren Gardner from the Jackson FFA chapter.
And I'm Courtney Heiser from the Seneca East FFA chapter.
So at the end of the first session, we heard about our new state officer candidates. They were introduced. Courtney, can you tell us a little bit about who they are and what folks can look forward to seeing as we move through the convention in terms of the state officers for next year?
Of course. Your state sentinels, Mallory Cadell from the West Liberty Salem FFA chapter and Austin Becker from the Fairbank FFA chapter. First state reporter, Tyler Zimpfer from the Anna FFA chapter and Bailey Eberhardt from the Harrison Central FFA chapter. Your state treasurer candidates is Grace Latch from Bloom Carroll and Kaylin Strawley from Paulding. Your state secretary candidates is Grant Latch from Bloom Carroll and Gretchen Lee from Pettisville. For state vice president, Holly McClay from Fredericktown and Emma Dirth from Amanda Clear Creek. And your state president candidates are Colson McCoy from Global Impact and Mylan Posterek from Fredericktown.
And tomorrow we're going to be able to see who those winners are in the last session at the end of the day, tomorrow being Friday. In addition, in the upcoming session, we're going to hear about this great success Ohio FFA members saw at the national convention last year. Ohio is always well represented, and they were extremely well represented last year at the national convention. We had a number of very successful Ohio FFA members performing very well at the national level. Emily got to work with one of those national winners last year on our state reporter team here. He was one of our convention reporters. Emily, you got to work with Colt Buckenroth, who was the national proficiency winner. What did you think about your time working with Colt?
Yeah, Colt was so awesome, real nice and very fun. We had this joke between all of us, Ohio AgNet, with the Colt cam that we used, which was a little GoPro. I was too scared to use it because I was afraid of breaking it or knocking it off while walking across stage.
Yeah, it was a little unsettling. But Colt's a great guy, and he was one of many national winners last year at the state convention. They're going to be highlighted here at in the next session. Now, I want to give you guys a little bit of insight with our talented student reporters this year. First of all, Emily, you show llamas. What do you have to do to show a llama?
Well, showing a llama, it takes a lot of work, and no, they do not spit all the time, and it's very fun and entertaining.
Emily also, earlier in the convention, got to interview John Paul Gonzalez, who is a great big tall guy. He's literally about double your height. How'd that go, Emily?
It was awesome. I felt very short, probably the shortest I've ever felt in my life, but it was really cool.
John Paul Gonzalez was the keynote speaker in the first session, and he did a wonderful job and had a great message, and you can catch his interview with Emily at ocj.com. Lauren is very talented. She has the ability to rattle off the type of beverage served at any restaurant you can name. So I'm going to quiz you.
Okay.
All right, you ready?
Yep.
Bob Evans.
It's now Pepsi. Used to be Coke.
Culver's.
Pepsi.
Taco Bell.
Pepsi.
Wendy's.
Coke.
McDonald's.
Coke.
See? It's amazing how talented she is. That's really good. She also plays the bassoon.
Yes, I do.
How does one play a bassoon?
Well, you just blow air into it, and you got to, like, hold it like this, and you move your hands real weird, but if you can play it well, then it sounds nice sometimes.
What's a bassoon sound like?
Some say it sounds like a duck.
Yeah?
Like a...
Waterfowl. It sounds like waterfowl.
Yeah.
And Courtney is a golfer, right?
Yes, I am. I joined 3 years ago, knowing nothing about golf, but this year our team placed second in our league.
That's pretty exciting.
Yes, it is.
Now, what's your strongest area? Are you good at long game? Can you hit long drives? You better putter?
Putting is a struggle for me, so I would say driving is my...
Driving's the way to go?
Yes, driving is the way to go.
Yeah, you see how talented they are. They're all very talented, and it's wonderful to have them here and get to work with these student reporters at the FFA convention. Also, big news, Eddie George is in the next session. Now, I'm a little concerned because... So I went to college the same time as Eddie George did, and he was a big deal. He won the Heisman Trophy, great football player, went on to the NFL, great things, and we were talking about it, and Lauren doesn't even know who he is.
I really don't. I never heard of him until FFA convention was brought up, and I looked at the schedule, and I was just like, who's Eddie George? And I got a, what? Like, why don't you know him?
Well, yeah, I was a little concerned, but maybe it's because I'm old. Is that why I know him and you don't?
Well, I'm 17 and you're 40, so.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's very true. So it's been a lot of fun so far, and we've got a lot more excitement coming up. The other thing is the Proficiency winners. Now, somebody here had a Proficiency interview today. Emily, you want to tell me a little bit about your Proficiency interview? You had multiple Proficiency interviews, right?
Yeah, I actually had 2 Proficiency interviews today. My first one was for outdoor recreation, where I worked at Coshocton KOA over the summer, and my next one was actually specialty animal, and surprisingly, it was about llamas. So it was fun interviews.
So how'd they go? Were you nervous? Were you excited? What were your thoughts going into the Proficiency interviews today?
I was freaking out and very nervous. I was shaking and jittery, like, I'm going to mess this all up. And then I got there, and I was like, okay, just go with it, and turned out to be okay, and the judges were really fun and stuff, so it got pretty easy towards the end.
Now, we're going to be seeing a whole lot of Proficiency winners here in the next session. It's going to be important. We're going to pause here for the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what? Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what bright? Do y'all mind? I'm just gonna join you. So. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, oh, the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in
getting ready for the second general session of the 2018 Ohio State FFA Convention, and there's going to be plenty of excitement and plenty of interesting things to see and learn about here as we look forward to this next session. Enjoy the show, and thanks for tuning in.
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
The convention hall will come to order. We are now holding the second session of the 90th Annual Ohio FFA State Convention. Madam Vice President, are all officers at their stations?
I shall call the roll of officers, determine if they are at their stations, and report back to you, Mr. President. The Sentinel.
Station by the door.
Your duties there?
Through this door pass many friends of the FFA. It is my duty to see that the door is open to our friends at all times and that they are welcome. I care for the meeting room and paraphernalia. I strive to keep the room comfortable and assist the President in maintaining order.
The reporter.
The reporter is stationed by the flag.
Why by the flag?
As the flag covers the United States of America, so I strive to inform the people in order that every man, woman, and child may know that the FFA is a national organization that reaches from the state of Alaska to the Virgin Islands and from the state of Maine to Hawaii.
The treasurer.
Stationed at the emblem of Washington.
Your duties there?
I keep a record of receipts and disbursements, just as Washington kept his farm accounts, carefully and accurately. I encourage thrift among our members and strive to build up our financial standings through savings and investments. George Washington was better able to serve his country because he was financially independent.
The secretary.
Stationed by the ear of corn.
Your duties there?
I keep an accurate record of all meetings and correspond with other secretaries wherever corn is grown and FFA members meet.
The advisor.
Here by the owl.
Why stationed by the owl?
The owl is a time-honored emblem of knowledge and wisdom. Being older than the rest of you, I am asked to advise you from time to time as the need arises. I hope my advice will always be based on true knowledge and ripen with wisdom. Madam Vice President, Why do you keep a plow at your station?
The plow is a symbol of labor and tillage of the soil. Without labor, neither knowledge nor wisdom can accomplish much. My duties require me to assist at all times in directing the work of our organization. I preside over meetings in absence of our president, whose place is beneath the rising sun.
Why is the president so stationed?
The rising sun is a token of a new era in agriculture. If we will follow the leadership of our president, we shall be led out of the darkness of selfishness and into the glorious sunlight of brotherhood and cooperation. Mr. President, all officers are at their stations.
Thank you, Madam Vice President. The Secretary will call the roll of members.
I am pleased to announce that at the second general session of the 90th Ohio FFA Convention, there are 7,448 members and guests registered. Mr. President.
Thank you. FFA members, why are we here? To practice brotherhood, honor agricultural opportunities and responsibilities, develop those qualities of leadership. May we accomplish our purposes. I now declare this session of the 90th Annual Ohio FFA State Convention duly open to the transaction of business or attention to any matter which may properly be presented. Please help me in welcoming State Secretary Colson McCoy and State Sentinel Marley Kerr to open up this evening's session.
Throughout history, almost every successful person has been faced with a choice: to go down the same road as everyone else, or take the more difficult road with a much more beautiful destination.
Take, for example, Amelia Earhart. Being the first female aviator to fly solo across the Atlantic Ocean, she faced the incredible challenge of personal fear and public doubt. However, she was never afraid to break down these barriers. Even at such a young age, her passion to seek the impossible led her down a road no one before her ever had. A road that at first glance seemed far more difficult than anything she ever imagined. Fueled by her passion, she took flight in 1928, successfully flying over the Atlantic in just under 15 hours. Even today, she inspires young minds all over the world to never stop chasing what may seem as impossible, and that adventure is always worth the risk.
Elon Musk is one of the most recent stories of this type of success. A native of South Africa and a college dropout, Elon didn't just take another road, he created one. After dropping out of college, he started to create very successful companies like Zip2 and PayPal. In the early 2000s, he shot for the stars as he built satellites, launched vehicles into space, and other spacecrafts for NASA and his own company. He created new milestones for the new frontier.
Juan Sebastian Elcano, a Spanish explorer, achieved a task that at his time was believed to be impossible. He was the first man to circumnavigate the world. Elcano first set out from Spain in 1519 under the leadership of Ferdinand Magellan. About halfway through the voyage, Magellan was killed, and his men debated over who should lead the voyage in his place. After many failed choices of leadership, they finally settled on Elcano, who led the one remaining ship to their destination. Now, we all know the hardships that came with sailing in this time: the food shortages, mutinies, and harsh weather. However, Elcano overcame them all. He chose to take the road that was more difficult, one that had never before been traversed, and he achieved something that nobody else had yet accomplished, something that was so beautiful and worth all the risks he and his crew had endured.
Each of these individuals made the choice to go down a different path, and all ended up at the most beautiful destination of success and victory, something that can inspire us all.
Because if I can take the difficult road, then we will discover beautiful destinations.
Through this evening's session, we're going to see some of our members and supporters who have taken the difficult road and led themselves, their teams, and their chapters to beautiful destinations, such as our honorary degree recipients, our national winners, and the new stars over Ohio. We'll then get to hear some of the results of our proficiency areas, and last get to meet our keynote speaker, Mr. Eddie George. FFA members and guests, let's get ready to see the beautiful destination of Session 2. As FFA members, we are all unique. We all have a different background, we're all from different schools, and we all have a different story. But let's take a second and realize how similar we truly are. When I mention something that you have or are a part of, what I'd like you to do is stand and remain standing. Please stand if you have ever been on the basketball team. The football team, the baseball team, the soccer team. Please stand if you've ever ran track or cross country. Please stand if you've ever been a cheerleader. Please stand if you have ever been in National Honor Society. Please stand if you've ever been in band or choir. Please stand if you've ever been in 4-H. And one last one. Please stand if you are, have been, or are going to be in the FFA. Take a second to look around. We're all connected in one way. We've all been a part of a team, meaning at one time we've all had a coach, an advisor, or a supporter. You may be seated. Our current lives and our futures are influenced by our supporters, and many times we neglect to thank them for everything they have done. Luckily, right now, we are going to thank and appreciate some of the biggest sponsors and supporters of the Ohio FFA as we bestow upon them honorary membership. It's always a pleasure to receive honorary membership in the FFA. The purpose of this ceremony is to recognize from time to time the efforts made by others on our behalf. Mr. Secretary, will you please read the section of our national constitution that outlines for honorary membership?
Honorary membership. Farmers, school superintendents, principals, members of boards of education, chapter advisors, teachers, staff members in agricultural education, business people, and others helping to advance agricultural education and the FFA, and who have rendered outstanding service may be elected to honorary membership.
Mr. Secretary, will you please introduce those who are to receive this honor?
Mr. President, members, and guests, I am pleased to read the following names. Amy Anderson, Principal, Northridge High School. Gary and Rachel Arledge, Math Teachers, White Oak Junior Senior High. Monica Baxter, Teaching Assistant, Plymouth High School. Karen Bixler, Guidance Counselor, Anthony Wayne High School. Amy Claywell, Satellite Supervisor, Butler Tech. David Daniels, Director, Ohio Department of Agriculture. Dennis and Helen DeLong, owners, Rock and D Tack and Supply. Roland Fisher, President, Ohio FFA Alumni. Greg Fogel, Manager, Animal Herd, The Ohio State University. Dr. Lida G. Garcia, Assistant Professor, Meat Science, The Ohio State University. Ernest Hatton, Supporter, Fairfield FFA. Rebecca Lasik, Substitute Teacher, Big Walnut DACC. Larry and Susie Mayer, Owners, Mayer Farm Equipment, LLC. Al McDougall, Supervisor, Trillium Farms. Jim Misick, Technician, Noble SWCD. Cassandra Paulsgrove, Consultant, Ohio Department of Education. Jeff Parker, Superintendent, National Trail Local Schools. Tom Stannard, Supporter, Lauren County JVS FFA. Eric Van Fleet, agricultural education instructor, Shenandoah High School. And Matt Wentworth, agricultural education instructor, Meadowbrook High School.
Will the officers take their places beside me?
I welcome you as friends of the FFA. It is my privilege as Sentinel to extend to each of you the symbolic handclasp of friendship and brotherhood.
As reporter, I am pleased to inform you that the FFA is a national youth organization whose purpose is to develop agricultural leaders. Welcome to membership.
Your contribution as a useful citizen in our democracy serves as an example for our members to follow. As treasurer, I welcome you to our organization.
The FFA needs counsel and guidance from recognized leaders. It is my honor as secretary to add your names to our roll of honorary members.
As Vice President, I welcome you to the FFA. I would inform you that our members learn to appreciate the dignity of labor. Without labor, neither knowledge nor wisdom can accomplish much.
On behalf of every FFA member, we are so proud to have you as honorary members. May this affiliation prove valuable to all. I impress upon you that we look to you for counsel and guidance. It is because of the great respect we have for you that you have been elected to honorary membership. May we cooperate for the benefit of all. I now confer upon you honorary membership in the Ohio FFA Association. State Vice President at Large Philip Eberly will now come to the stage to continue with this evening's session.
Being from Ohio, we have a lot to be proud of. Ohio has had more U.S. presidents than any other state, is the leading producer of greenhouse and nursery plants, and has the roller coaster capital of the world. We are also home to Cincinnati chili and the Ohio State Buckeyes. This past fall, many members traveled to the 90th National FFA Convention and Expo in Indianapolis, Indiana, to represent our great state. Whether visiting the career fair, listening to speakers, or competing, we all made sure that every OH was followed by an IO. These next individuals left their legacy for our state and were named national winners. Yep. Ohio FFA, please join me in honoring our 2017 national winners.
Agricultural Communications, Colt Buckenroth, Ken, Ohio High Point. Advisor, Shaylee Logan. Agricultural Mechanics Repair and Maintenance Entrepreneurship, Aaron Hendrick, Eaton, MVCTC. Advisor, Rebecca Holbrook. Diversified Agricultural Production, Noel Gerfin, Ridgemont. Advisor, Stephanie Jolliffe and Shelby Faulkner. Diversified Livestock, Adam Blumenshine, Fairbanks. Advisor, Rob Riddle. Food Science and Technology, Anne-Marie Shelby, Zane Trace. Advisors, Jennifer Johnston and Aaron Miller. Swine Production Entrepreneurship, Colin Dunaway, Felicity Franklin. Advisors, Holly Jones and Joe Broadwell. Agri-Science Fair Plant Systems Division 3, Kayla Wise, Pettysville. Advisor, John Polson. Agri-Science Fair Power, Structural, and Technical Systems Division 4, Jerry Hamilton and Joseph Glassmeyer. Felicity Franklin. Advisors, Holly Jones and Joe Broadwell. Agronomy Career Development Event, North Union, including Grayson Plotner, first place individual. Advisors, Tom Jolliffe and Breck Mooneyham.
All of these FFA members have truly had one amazing journey from the place they started their dreams to that national stage. Ohio FFA, once again, your 2017 national winners. Marley Kerr, State Sentinel, will now come to the stage to recognize our Star American FFA degrees, sponsored by Kevin O'Brien, Crop Insurance.
These next individuals will be representing the state of Ohio at the national level in the areas of Star American in Agri-Science and Star American in Agricultural Placement. These members have worked extremely hard to not only receive their American degree, which is the highest degree our organization can offer, but to become the best in their respective areas. I am honored to announce Ohio's Star American in Agri-Science is Mariah Cox from the Zane Trace FFA chapter. Mariah's advisors are Jennifer Johnston and Aaron Miller. And Ohio's Star American in Agricultural Placement is Michael Anadel from the Firelands FFA chapter. Michael's advisor is Shanna Finnegan. On behalf of the Ohio FFA Association, we wish you the best of luck as you represent us at the national level. We wish you congratulations on this great accomplishment. Ohio FFA, please join me in a round of applause for your Star Americans and their advisors. These next members have worked night and day to achieve their goals. I am proud to present you with the Star in Agri-Science, Star in Agribusiness, Star in Placement, and Star Farmer from our Ohio FFA degree recipients. These members have shown incredible drive and perseverance in their supervised agricultural experiences. They have worked hard to ensure that the future of agriculture in Ohio remains bright and vibrant. At this time, Colson McCoy, State Secretary, will begin our introduction of our Stars Over Ohio, sponsored by Farm Credit Mid-America.
Einstein lived by this quote: "One of the most important things in life is to never stop questioning the world around you." Growing up through high school, I'd always felt a personal connection to the world of science. It was everywhere in our lives and is often seen as the gateway to the technology of tomorrow. These next individuals have allowed their passion to further develop, conducting research, collecting data, and drawing conclusions. The infinite level of curiosity that each of these members hold have earned them the title of Stars in Agri-Science. Your finalists are Aaron Jennings, Felicity Franklin, and Jordan Skates, Pettisville. And now, the 2018 Star in Agri-Science is Aaron Jennings from the Felicity Franklin FFA chapter. Aaron Jennings is a senior in the Felicity Franklin FFA chapter. Through her time in high school, she has spent 420 hours conducting, preparing, and presenting 3 different research projects. Her projects focus on the mold growth in food service areas and the best methods to preserve the quality factors of oranges. Erin is the daughter of Scott and Jill Jennings, and her agricultural education teachers are Miss Holly Jennings and Mr. Joe Broadwell. Her future plans are to attend Northern Kentucky University to major in middle school science and math education. Many of you may know Steve Jobs as the man who co-founded Apple. However, what you may not know is that he began developing his passion and challenging the status quo and having the courage and heart to follow his heart and intuition at just 13 years old. the same age in which he built the foundation for what would soon become a billion-dollar company. Just like Steve Jobs, entrepreneurs have always been known as the men and women who thought differently, took a risk, and persevered to achieve success. These next individuals have persevered and started an agricultural business that they have a passion for. Through problem solving and limitless creativity, each of them have endured early mornings and late nights, always learning the importance of working hard while gaining real-world skills. This year's STAR and Agribusiness finalists are Reed Aller, St. Mary's; Carson Iyer, Western Brown; Jordan Johnson, Gallipolis; and Louis Poliski, Anthony Wayne Penta. And now, your 2018 State FFA Star in Agribusiness is Carson Iyer from the Western Brown FFA chapter. Carson Iyer began his SAE mowing lawns for one weekly customer. Over the past 3 years, he has grown to 42 weekly clients and manages 3 of his fellow FFA members as employees. The team provides services in mowing, trimming, fertilizing, blowing, snow removal, and more. Carson is the son of Barry and Mindy Iyer, and his advisors are Ryan Rossello. Aside from his lawn care business, he has plans to continue to grow his business while pursuing an associate's degree from Cincinnati State in turfgrass management. Every accomplishment throughout history started with a dream. However, no dream becomes a reality by mere chance. It takes hard work, sweat, and determination. These individuals have found their dream and can attest to the countless hours of hard work that comes with their placement, supervised agricultural experiences. Throughout their journey, a sense of pride, confidence, and passion has always been the forefront of their project. Please join me in congratulating our Star in Agricultural Placement finalist. Madison Ferris, West Muskingum; Aaron Hand, Winford; Justin Scott, Indian Valley; and Jason Stevens, Fayetteville. And now, the 2018 State FFA Star in Agricultural Placement is Aaron Hand from the Winford FFA chapter. Aaron Hand is the son of Andrea and Mike Stump, as well as Abby and Dave Hand. He is the graduate of Winford High School, where his agricultural educators are Tessa Martin and Mike Hoffman. Aaron's SAE consisted of working at Heritage Dairy and Grain Farm, where he was tasked with the management of the dairy herd and crop operation. During his time there, he had gained experience in all aspects of the dairy and grain industry, from milking cows to drilling beans. Aaron plans to graduate from the Ohio State University ATI with a degree in crop management and return to the family farm. It has never been the farm that makes the farmer. It's the love, hard work, and character. These FFA members have become the epitome of what it truly means to be a farmer. A love for agriculture, a drive to hard work, and a sense of passion and character anybody can look up to. From farm to table, these next individuals have never stopped believing in the future of agriculture during their production agricultural SAE projects. This year's finalists for Star Farmer are Megan Brandich, Firelands; Sarah Lanner, Buckeye Valley DACC; Todd Peterson, Miami Trace; and Ethan Stuckey, Winford. And now, your 2018 Ohio FFA Star Farmer is Todd Peterson from the Miami Trace FFA chapter. Todd Peterson is the son of Bob and Lisa Peterson. He is a recent graduate of Miami Trace High School, where his advisors were Bruce Bennett, Amanda Swigert, and Wendy Meiser-Stockler. Todd grew his first crop of soybeans in 2014 when he rented an abandoned 7-acre pasture and planted soybeans. He was responsible for the daily operations and management decisions, field preparation, equipment operation, planting, and fertilizing. In the years since, his operation has grown to include 305 acres of corn, soybeans, and wheat. Currently, Todd is studying agribusiness at applied economics at The Ohio State University. After graduation, he would like to return to the family farm. Life is an echo. One of the greatest pleasures in life is when we can look back on our own hard work and reap the reward that comes from it. These individuals have put in the extra hours, stayed true to what the FFA stands for, and earned the incredible challenge to earn their place on this stage. These FFA members have dedicated their time to be able to say that they have achieved success. Ladies and gentlemen, sponsored by Farm Credit Mid-America, your 2018 Stars Over Ohio. We have just seen some of the greatest stars in our association. However, we have the pleasure of meeting another star. At this time, please welcome to the stage your Ohio FFA talent from the Blanchester FFA chapter, Ashley Osborne.
I'm trying to hold my breath, let it stay this way. I can't let this moment end. You set off a dream in me, getting louder now. Can't you hear it echoing? Take my hand, will you share this with me? 'Cause darling, without you, all the shine of 1,000 spotlights, all the stars we steal from the night sky will never be enough, never be enough. Towers of gold are still too little. These hands could hold the world, but it'll never be enough, never be enough for me. Never, 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 never for me, for me. Never enough, never enough, never enough for me, for me, for me. All the shine of 1,000 spotlights, all the stars we steal from the night sky will never be enough, never be enough. Towers of gold are still too little. These hands could hold the world, but it'll never be enough, never be enough for me. Never, 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 never for me, for me. Never enough, never, never, never enough, never, never, never enough for me, for me, for me.
My time in the FFA has allowed me to realize that in order to acquire the best things in life, we must put forth two things: time and effort. The individuals we will be recognizing momentarily have spent their own time and effort creating an outstanding supervised agricultural experience. These members have strengthened their passion for their SAE through meticulous record keeping, research, physical labor, and by evaluating feedback. In a moment, we will be bringing to the stage the top 4 finalists for each proficiency category, and the top individual overall will have the opportunity to represent Ohio at the national level later this year. Ohio FFA, here are your 2018 proficiency finalists.
If you need your record books to be organized, these next FFA members are the ones for the job. The members competing in the Accounting Award Proficiency area are always on top of their game when it comes to ensuring that businesses can run smoothly. This proficiency is proudly sponsored by Olsen Associates. Your state finalists are: in 4th place, Nicole McMullen, Anthony Wayne Penta. In 3rd place, Alex Mellon, Wellington. In 2nd place, Megan Brandich, Firelands. And our state winner is Emily Holcomb from the Firelands FFA chapter. Emily is the proud daughter of Harlan and Lorene Holcomb. Emily has kept meticulous records over 3 SAE projects over her high school career. Upon graduation, she plans on attending Bowling Green State University and working towards a degree in biology before continuing to earn a degree in chiropractics. Congratulations, Emily.
These next members have dedicated their time and energy to communicating their passion for agriculture. The Agricultural Communications Proficiency Award Area is sponsored by the Ohio FFA Foundation, and your finalists are: in 3rd place, Abigail Austin, Benjamin Logan. In 2nd place, Haley Back, Twin Valley South, MVCTC. And our state winner is Jamie Hart from the Versailles FFA chapter. Jamie Hart is the daughter of Dan and Carrie Hart. She is a senior in the Versailles FFA chapter, where her advisors are Mrs. Dina Wedker and Mr. Colin Prescott. After graduation, she plans to attend Wright State Lake Campus to major in early childhood education. As part of her SAE, Jamie works for a local radio station, Tiger Country 97.5 WTGR.
No members would be in attendance tonight if it weren't for the amazing agricultural educators who sacrificed their time to bring their students to the convention. The finalists in the Agricultural Education Proficiency Award area have made some sacrifices of their own, learning how to serve as agricultural advocates and educators. This award area is generously sponsored by the Ohio Association for Agricultural Educators. Your state finalists are: in 4th place, Sarah Leaner, Buckeye Valley, DACC. In 3rd place, Paige Shopter, Eden. In 2nd place, Sarah Hogue, Felicity Franklin. And our state winner is Alexis Elliott from the Richmond FFA chapter. Alexis is the proud daughter of Scott and Aaron Elliott. Her SAE consists of putting together an array of presentations about the importance of agriculture in our communities, and then delivering these presentations to school-age children in her county. Upon graduation from The Ohio State University, Alexis plans on becoming a reporter who publishes articles based on agricultural topics. Congratulations, Alexis.
Whether it be creating welding projects, making fishing lures, or building different agricultural structures, these next members have an unrivaled desire to expand their knowledge of agricultural equipment and technology with a hands-on approach. The Agricultural Mechanics Design and Fabrication Award Area is sponsored by the Ohio FFA Foundation, and the finalists are: in 4th place, Trevor Esker, Genoa area. In 3rd place, Zachary Anderson, Stephen, A.B. Grimm, Ohio High Point. In second place, Patrick Myring, Houston, UVCC. And our state winner is Louis Flisky from the Anthony Wayne Penta FFA chapter. Louis Flisky is the son of Lisa and Paul Flisky. He is a recent graduate of the Anthony Wayne Penta FFA chapter, where his advisors were Mrs. Whitney Short and Mrs. Courtney Bachbrader. He is a current freshman at the University of Toledo, and his future plans are to get a degree in business with a minor in accounting and to continue to run his business. As part of his SAE, Louis makes custom fishing lures and rods to sell.
There is nothing worse than walking out to the barn prepared for a long day's work, only to discover your machine won't start. But not to worry, these next individuals will have you back up and running in no time. The members in the Agricultural Mechanics Repair and Maintenance Entrepreneurship Award area own and operate their own business, and no matter how hopeless the situation may seem, they always have a solution. Sponsored by the Ohio FFA Foundation, your state finalists are: in fourth place, Brant Kaufman, Liberty Union. In third place, Cole Fife, St. Trace. In second place, Matt Crayons, Northeastern. And our state winner is Palmer Erb from the Richwood FFA chapter. Palmer is the proud son of lone players and Sue Davis. Palmer's SAE included running his own small business where he bought and repaired and then sold small engines and restored them. Over the past 3 years, Palmer has earned over $6,500 in his project. Upon graduation, Palmer plans to proceed and get a degree in business. Congratulations, Palmer.
When something breaks, who do you call? One of these next four individuals would be happy to answer. They excel in fixing all different kinds of agricultural equipment for their respective employers. The Agricultural Mechanics Repair Placement Proficiency Award area is sponsored by the Ohio FFA Foundation, and your finalists are: in fourth place, Brandon Stephen, Indian Valley. In third place, Colin Fisher, Wapakoneta. In second place, Andy Holscher, Houston, UVCC. And our state winner is Kyle Riggs from the Lorain County JVS FFA chapter. Kyle Riggs is the son of Kevin Riggs and Cindy Carco. He is a recent graduate of Lorain County JVS, and his advisors were Mrs. Beth Berthold and Mr. Gregory Hendricks. As part of his SAE, Kyle worked at Wellington Implement, where he assists in troubleshooting techniques, sets up new equipment, and repairs fuel system problems. He is a current freshman at University of Northwestern Ohio and eventually plans to work for Caucusing Construction as a road technician on off-highway equipment.
It is estimated that our food travels an average of 1,500 miles from farm to plate. Ever wonder what happens during each mile? Well, these next FFA members know exactly what is going on. From harvesting to cleaning, packaging, storing, transporting, and eventually making its way to your table, these members know it all. Sponsored by Mr. and Mrs. Bremen Scott and the Agricultural Incubator Foundation, your state finalists in the Agricultural Processing Proficiency are: in fourth place, Logan Schlanch, West Holmes. In third place, Connor Miller, West Holmes. In second place, Meadow Cromer, Ridgewood. Come on. And our state winner is Emily Holcomb from the Firelands FFA chapter. Emily is the proud daughter of Harlan and Larry Holcomb. Her SAE involves tapping over 600 trees, which she harvests sap from and later sells in her community. Upon graduation, she will be attending Bowling Green State University to get a degree in biology before continuing her studies to obtain a doctorate in chiropractics. Congratulations, Emily.
Ranging from welding projects to kettle corn, these next students know what they want to sell and the best way to do it. They've not only taken an idea of a product to sell, but they've also made a successful business out of it. The Agricultural Sales Entrepreneurship Proficiency Award Area is sponsored by the Ohio Agribusiness Association and Ohio Grow Incorporated. And the finalists are, in third place, Emma Glazer, Talawanda Butler Tech. Miami East, MVCTC. And our state winner is Macy Kreitz from the Miami East MVCTC FFA chapter. Macy Kreitz is the daughter of Eric and Janelle Kreitz and Brian and Susie Weber. She is a current junior in the Miami East MVCTC FFA chapter, where her advisor is Miss Marie Carity. As part of her SAE, Macy started her own business where she welds horseshoes and metal projects to make different decorative designs. She sells them through the Troy's Farmers Market and through social media. After graduation, she plans to pursue a career as a grief counselor and continue to operate her welding art business.
If you need it, they have it. Or rather, they will convince you that you do need it. The individuals who partake in the area of agricultural sales definitely know their products. The Agricultural Sales Placement Proficiency is proudly sponsored by Deerfield Farm Services. Your state finalists are, in fourth place, David Douglas, Alexander. In third place, Andrew Brooks, Eaton, NBCTC. In second place, Rebecca Hackathorn, Miami Trace. And our state winner is Emma Stober from the Upper Sandusky FFA chapter. Emma is the proud daughter of Sean and Lisa Stober. Emma's SAE includes handling grain and working at the Heritage Farm Cooperative. She is also an active FFA member and is a participant in both marching and concert band. Emma is currently a student at Marion Tech and plans on obtaining a degree in agribusiness. Congratulations, Emma.
The skills of these next four members range from spraying herbicides to performing therapeutic practices on horses. These students know what it means to work hard in their respective areas. The Agricultural Services Proficiency Award Area is sponsored by the Ohio FFA Foundation, and the finalists are, in fourth place, Madison Witt, Ridgewood. In third place, Madison Stockler, Mississinawa Valley, MVCTC. In second place, Luke Scott, Winford. And our state winner is Mark Wolfer from the Fayetteville FFA chapter. Mark Wolfer is the son of Gina and David Wolfer. He is a junior in the Fayetteville FFA chapter, where his advisor is Mr. Nathan Berkheimer. His future plans are to attend Wilmington College and eventually become a veterinarian. As a part of his SAE, Mark breeds 65 head of cattle for 5 farmers. These next 4 members have spent many hours perfecting their projects in the areas of food products and processing, environmental service, power, structural and technical systems, social science, or diversified research. The AgriScience Research Integrated Systems Proficiency Award Area is sponsored by the Ohio FFA Foundation, and the finalists are, in fourth place, Olivia Flommer, Zane Trace. In third place, Kylie Blair, Miami East, MVCTC. In second place, Joseph Glassmeyer, Felicity Franklin. And our state winner is Erin Jennings from the Felicity Franklin FFA chapter. Erin Jennings is the daughter of Jill and Scott Jennings. She is a current senior in the Felicity Franklin FFA program, where her advisors are Mrs. Holly Jennings and Mr. Joe Broadwell. After graduation, Erin plans to attend Northern Kentucky University with a major in middle grade science education. As a part of her SAE, Erin conducted 3 research experiments on the mold growth in food service areas and the best way to store oranges.
Members participating in the Agri-Science Plant Research Proficiency are experts at researching everything about every single plant you could think of, and even some you couldn't. This proficiency is proudly sponsored by Brookside Consultants of Ohio. Your finalists are, in fourth place, Krista George, Oregon Clay. In third place, Kayla Wise, Pettisville. In second place, Cody Clark, Zane Trace. And our state winner is Abigail Hisson from the Milton Union MVCTC FFA chapter. Abigail Hisson is a senior in the Milton Union MVCTC FFA chapter, and her advisor is Elizabeth Constable. Abigail's SAE consisted of extensive research over plant systems, including seed germination and chemical effects, specifically pertaining to corn. After graduation, Abigail will be attending Wilmington College, majoring in agronomy.
FFA members in the beef production entrepreneurship proficiency area have what it takes to efficiently produce and market beef. Owning their own business, they utilize best management practices and are always on the lookout for new ways to improve their herd. Sponsored by the Ohio Cattlemen's Association, the finalists are, in fourth place, Kathy Lehman, Crestview. In third place, Samantha Wallace, Lakota. In second place, Jordan Johnson, Gallipolis. And our state winner is Garrett Hagler from the Miami Trace FFA chapter. Garrett Hagler is the son of Matt and Nikki Hagler, a senior from the Miami Trace FFA chapter, where his agri-science educators are Bruce Bennett, Amanda Swigart, and Wendy Meiser-Stockler. For his project, Garrett operated a Black Angus cow-calf operation on his family farm, managing 25 cows himself. Upon graduation, he plans to pursue a degree in agronomy at Wilmington College before returning to his family's farm to continue to expand their beef cattle and grain operation.
Members in the beef production placement proficiency area ensure that the day-to-day operations of a beef operation are implemented effectively and successfully. These members are the go-getters and hard workers that help drive the beef industry. Sponsored by the Ohio Cattlewomen, the finalists are, in fourth place, Gregory Van Sickle, West Holmes. In third place, Wyatt Moeller, Houston, UVCC. In second place, Jacob Schlichter, Talawanda, Butler Tech. And our state winner is Mike Erf from the Bellevue FFA chapter. Mike Erf is a graduate of Bellevue High School, and his FFA advisor is Jeff Karcher. As part of his SAE, Mike worked at his family beef farm, where he helped manage 750 head of beef cattle by applying animal care procedures, mixing feed rations, and treating common diseases. Mike is the son of Stephen and Barbara Erf. Mike plans to continue his education at the Ohio State University, ATI, majoring in agronomy.
In the dairy production entrepreneurship proficiency area, FFA members take great pride in managing their cattle for maximum milk production. From feeding to milking, countless hours are spent to make sure that their operations are thriving. Sponsored by Coba Select Sires Incorporated, the finalists are, in fourth place, Molly Moffitt, Hillsdale. In third place, Timothy Stitzline, West Holmes. In second place, Lauren Van Gundy, Elgin. And our state winner is John Hughes from the West Holmes FFA chapter. John Hughes is the son of Hank and Julie Hughes, a junior from the West Holmes FFA chapter, where his agri-science educator is Jamie Chenevy. For his project, John bred, raised, and milked brown Swiss, Holstein, and Jersey dairy cows. Upon graduation, he plans to pursue a degree in dairy science before returning to the family farm.
FFA members in the dairy production placement proficiency area are ensuring that the milk we drink and pour in our cereal is both safe and delicious. They properly manage herds of every shape and size and effectively market their dairy products. Sponsored by the Dairy Farmers of America and the American Dairy Association Mideast, your finalists are, in fourth place, Emily Mullen, Talawanda, Butler Tech. In third place, Justin Bond, Crestview. In second place, Sarah Sprang, West Holmes. And our state winner is Shelby Schmidtmeyer from the Versailles FFA chapter. Shelby Schmidtmeyer is a junior at Versailles High School and is the daughter of Doug and Brenda Schmidtmeyer. Per SAE, Shelby has maintained and run her family dairy farm, where she milked, fed, and tagged calves, as well as keeping herd and vaccination records. Shelby's FFA advisors are Dina Webker and Colton Prescott. After high school, Shelby plans to attend Wright State University Lake Campus for calf nutrition and plans to bring that knowledge back to the family farm.
FFA members in the Proficiency area of diversified agricultural production get to see many sides of agriculture. Effectively managing their time and balancing their books, they grow crops in addition to raising livestock. Sponsored by the Ohio Seed Improvement Association and the Ohio National Farmers Organization, the finalists are: in fourth place, Aaron Hand, Winford. In third place, Sarah Leonard, Buckeye Valley, DACC. In second place, Jacob Webker, Versailles. And our state winner is Wyatt Moeller from the Howson UVCC FFA chapter. Wyatt Moeller is the son of Kurt and Paula Moeller, a junior from the Howson UVCC FFA chapter, where his agri-science educator is Derek McCracken. For his project, Wyatt works at Triple M Farms, assisting with the care of nearly 1,200 cattle and management of 1,400 acres of crops. In addition, he has owned 31 head of market and breeding cattle. After high school, he plans to continue working on Triple M Farms and to eventually co-own the family farm.
Our next finalists are great business owners, managers, and most importantly, hard workers. Members of the Diversified Crop Production Entrepreneurship Proficiency handle every step of the crop and vegetable production process, all the way from planting to its sale at market. Sponsored by the Ohio FFA Foundation, your finalists are: in fourth place, Matthew Cole, Sentinel CTC. In third place, Rose Zedick, Fairview. In second place, Luke Scott, Winford. And our state winner is Todd Peterson from the Miami Trace FFA chapter. Todd Peterson is a graduate of Miami Trace High School and is the son of Bob and Lisa Peterson. For his SAE, Todd operated around 305 acres of corn, soybeans, and wheat, and oversaw the whole production process of all three crops. Todd is currently a freshman at The Ohio State University, studying agribusiness and applied economics. He plans to return to the family farm. Todd's FFA advisors are Bruce Bennett, Amanda Swigert, and Wendy Meiser-Stockler.
In the Diversified Crop Placement Proficiency area, FFA members take gardening to the next level. Through their time, they have helped grow numerous crops in the acres of grain, fiber oil, forage, specialty crop, vegetable, or even fruit production. Sponsored by the Ohio FFA Foundation, the finalists are: in fourth place, Jason Stevens, Fayetteville. In third place, Reed Aller, St. Mary's. In second place, Wyatt Moeller, Howson UVCC. And our state winner is Tyler Zimper from the Anna FFA chapter. Tyler Zimper is the son of Ted and Molly Zimper, a junior from the Anna FFA chapter, where his agri-science educators are Tim Zimper and Sarah Heilers. For his project, Tyler worked on Zimper Farms, assisting with the day-to-day procedures of planting, maintaining, and harvesting soybeans and corn. Upon graduation, he plans to pursue a degree in agribusiness and applied economics while working on the family farm.
FFA members in the Diversified Horticulture Proficiency area are experts at all things horticulture. They can help you choose the best treatment for your lawn or help you put together a beautiful flower arrangement. These finalists truly have a green thumb. This proficiency is proudly sponsored by the Florida Fruit Association. Your finalists are: in third place, Drew Mast, West Holmes. In second place, Ashley Garlick, Evergreen Local. And our state winner is Caitlin Miley from the St. Mary's FFA chapter. Caitlin Miley is a senior member of the St. Mary's FFA chapter and is the daughter of Jason and Tracy Miley. Caitlin's FFA advisor is Lucy Van Bauer. As part of her SAE, she raised over 800 mums, as well as worked at a local property company where she maintained nursery plants and assisted customers. After graduation, Caitlin plans to attend Wright State University Lake Campus, majoring in mechanical engineering.
FFA members in the Proficiency area of diversified livestock production have raised at least 2 different types of livestock, areas of which include beef, dairy, sheep, swine, equine, goat, specialty animal, small animal production and care, or poultry. Sponsored by the Ohio FFA Foundation, the finalists are: in 4th place, Olivia Congrove, St. Trace. In 3rd place, Lindsay Shell, Blanchester. In 2nd place, Michael Bear, Miami East, MVCTC. And our state winner is Toby George from the Versailles FFA chapter. Toby George is the son of Greg and Holly George, a junior from the Versailles FFA chapter, where his agri-science educators are Dina Webker and Colton Prescott. For his project, Toby has worked over 2,000 hours at Webker Farms, LLC. After high school, he plans on attending college to major in mechanics.
Members in the Environmental Science and Natural Resource Management Proficiency are using their knowledge and skills to help protect the land and resources that the future of agriculture depends on. Proudly sponsored by Advanced Drainage Systems, LLC, our state winner is Luke Scott from the Winford FFA chapter. Luke Scott is a graduate of the Winford FFA chapter and is the son of Bill and Jennifer Scott. His FFA advisors are Mike Hoffman and Tessa Martin. For his SAE, Luke worked at his father's excavating company, where he operated various types of construction equipment to build waterways, septic tanks, and even stormwater management structures. Luke is currently studying agribusiness management and marketing technologies at the University of Northwestern Ohio and plans to return to the family business and farm.
In the area of equine science entrepreneurship, FFA members spend countless time working with their horses. They are involved in many aspects of the equine industry, including horse production, breeding, marketing, or showing. Sponsored by the Ohio FFA Foundation, the finalists are: in 4th place, Shay Robinson, Covington, UVCC. In 3rd place, Madison Witt, Ridgewood. In 2nd place, Bailey Nepper, Indian Valley. And our state winner is Marion Klaus from the Lakota FFA chapter. Marion Klaus is the son of Dan and Sue Klaus, a junior from the Lakota FFA chapter, where her agri-science educator is Valerie Karhoff. For her project, Marion leased 5 performance horses from her parents and trained them to exhibit at local and national shows. After high school, she plans on attending college on a pre-med track while riding on the college's equestrian team.
FFA members in the equine science placement proficiency area are experts on everything equine. They aren't just barrel racers or cattle ropers. They are breeders, trainers, and just plain hard workers. These finalists are the true leaders in one of the most diverse industries in agriculture. Sponsored by the Ohio FFA Foundation, your finalists are: in 4th place, Kaylin Crow, Twin Valley South, MVCTC. In 3rd place, Shaylee Warner, Utica. In 2nd place, Hannah Schaefer, Covington, UVCC. And our state winner is Valerie Golden from the Clear Fork Valley FFA chapter. Valerie Golden is a junior at Clear Fork High School and is the daughter of Chuck and Judy Golden. Her FFA advisor is Adam Staley. As part of her SAE, Valerie worked on her family farm, where she used the knowledge she learned to compete and train 2 horses. After high school, Valerie plans to attend college, majoring in equine business management.
Let's congratulate all of our Proficiency finalists and winners. As Ohioans, we are all born with the Buckeye pride. Most of us probably grew up eating Buckeye candies, finishing the callback of OH with IO, and cheering on the Ohio State Buckeyes through every season. Now, we may not remember the score of each and every game, but we remember the players and the legacy they leave behind. Especially number 27, Mr. Eddie George. Retiring from the field nearly 12 years ago, Mr. Eddie George's name and career is still widely known, as he is now taking on titles such as actor, speaker, professor, wellness coach, and entrepreneur. If you were to look up Mr. Eddie George on any form of social media, it'll say that he is a Renaissance man, a man of many talents, which is definitely true. Ohio FFA, let's give a huge Buckeye welcome to the legend himself, Mr. Eddie George.
What's up, FFA? Huh? Wow. Okay. All right. Ayo! Can I get an OH? OH! Woo! I love that energy. Gosh, man. You guys maybe want to put the pads back on and go out and play. Wow. It's always great to be here in Ohio. Just got back in off of a cruise, so you see me wobbling a little bit. I haven't, my sea legs are still not all together. I still have sea legs, but it's great to come back to Ohio. Such great weather. I was here about 2.5 weeks ago, and it was snowing sideways in April. That's perfect Ohio weather. But first and foremost, I want to congratulate all of the award winners. Great job, great accomplishments. And I would like to congratulate all of you on embarking on your next endeavors in life. Most of you know me as the Heisman Trophy winner. If you Google me, you'll see a lot of different things in terms of my NFL career, my college career in football, and what I'm doing now. But I just kind of want to fill in the gaps a little bit in terms of how I got to this point. It wasn't easy. When people look at me, they think, oh, it was easy. You knew you were going to be a Heisman Trophy winner. You knew you were going to play in the NFL when you were 5, 6 years old. But that wasn't my path. That was not my path. It was full of highs and a lot of lows, peaks and valleys. And a lot of that time was spent in the valleys. I grew up in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. That's where I'm from. And my father used to take me to the local high school football games. He used to say, under the lights is where the magic happens. He took me to all the local high school football games in the neighborhood, Abington, Upper Dublin. And my father would rant and rave about how great these players were. And I just loved how he talked about these players in the neighborhood. He said, oh my God, Eddie, this boy is going to be amazing. Did you see him run up and down the sideline? And I'm like, yes, Dad, yes. Then we would go home and we would watch Monday Night Football. And Howard Cosell, you guys probably don't know who Howard Cosell is. But he would talk about Earl Campbell and Jim Brown and all these great football players, Archie Griffin. And I wanted my father to talk about me in the same way. I wanted my dad to talk about his son, how great of a football player he was. And just a little bit about my father. My dad, he grew up in the neighborhood, same neighborhood I grew up in Philadelphia, in Abington. And he wanted to be a football player growing up. It was his love. That was his passion. But unfortunately, his father, my grandfather, died in an explosion in a restaurant. And that deterred his path. My father fell into a state of depression. And he was very sad at that particular time, so he stopped pursuing his NFL dream. He went off to the military and served our country in the Vietnam War, came back, married my mom, and had me. And growing up in the neighborhood at that time, I would hear stories about how great my father was, how much potential he had to be this great football player. And like I said, my dad used to take me to all the high school games, and I was so enthralled and thrilled that my father was so excited. I wanted to please him and make him proud of me. But unfortunately, as I got older, my mother and my father divorced when I was about the age of about 7 years old. And my father, I remember hearing stories about him as I got older and got into high school and so forth, that he was a drug addict. And how he was behaving in the neighborhood off of drugs. My friends would tease me about his behavior in school the next day. And as a result of that, I absolutely hated going to school. I didn't like school to begin with. Let me get that straight. But I hated going to school because of what my friends were going to say about my father. My father, we share the same name, Edward George Jr. I'm Edward George Jr., he's Edward George Sr. And in the paper written up about one time he had a bad episode was Edward George arrested for indecent exposure on a train. He was so high that he was naked on a train. That's funny. Yeah, I know. I had to laugh at that too. But it was so embarrassing for me. I hated going to school. Started skipping class around the 9th, 10th grade. Didn't really care about studying. I had a 1.3 GPA average. But yet, I still wanted to play football. I still wanted my father to talk about me the same way he talked about Jim Brown. I wanted to change the rhetoric surrounding my father's name. Instead of Edward George, the drug addict, Edward George, the crazy man, the drug user, all of that. I wanted to change that, the loser. That's what he was called in our neighborhood. And I wanted to change that name. So as I got older, I was in the 10th grade, grades still poor. My mother realized that I was getting old enough now that the beatings weren't working as hard, the punishments wasn't working. She couldn't get my head on straight to really, for me, embrace my education. And she sent me off to a military academy in Virginia. And at Fort Union Military Academy, that's when my life turned around. I learned real quick to fall in line with the rules and the regulations at this academy. Because if I didn't, I would have to wax and buff all by myself a hallway about the length of the stage on my free time, or hold a penny against the wall with my nose, and if I dropped it, I had extra chores. And I had to learn real quick, okay, I got to get in line, I got to do business, I got to take care of all the duties I had to do in the barracks. So I'm at Fort Union for 2.5 years, and I started getting recruited by Ohio State, Penn State, Virginia, Louisville. And real quick story, I wanted to go to Penn State like I talked about. I wanted to play for Joe Paterno because I was a huge Penn State fan, and it was my dream again to play for Penn State, have my dad talk about me in a great way. And they wanted me to play linebacker. I said, I can't do that. I got to run the rock. I got to tote the rock like Jim Brown. So I came to Ohio State not knowing what to expect. I knew about the great Archie Griffin. I knew about the great tradition of Ohio State. But I walked into the stadium on my last day of my visit. I could feel the energy of greatness, of excellence in the stadium. I said to myself, my God, Archie Griffin played here. Chris Carter, Chris Spillman, Woody Hayes walked up and down the sidelines at Ohio Stadium. Jesse Owens, the great Olympic runner, ran track in the stadium. And I'm saying, oh man, it just felt right for me. When you come to Ohio State as an athlete, you're coming in with other great athletes, so it's no guarantee you're going to see the field. And at that particular time, I had 4 running backs ahead of me that all went into the NFL draft. So it was a ton of talent. So there was no written rule that I was going to come in and be a success. And I was coming out of Fort Union Military Academy. Nobody really knew about me. So I came to Ohio State. Come here, and I wanted to immediately make an impact. I'm a freshman. Come in because of my size and stature and things I can do on the football field. I can impose my will on other defenders. I can run them over. So the coaches found a place for me in my freshman year to be on the football field, and that was to play goal line running back. So I'm goal line running back. First game of the year, we go up to Syracuse. And at this time, Syracuse they're really good. They're ranked in the top 10 in the country. And we're coming up there as the nomadic, slow football team from the Midwest. Ohio State Buckeyes were predicted to get blown out by 50 points. because of all the speed that Syracuse has. So we go up there. Kirk Herbstreit is our quarterback. And let me see a show of hands. You know who Kirk is? Kirk Herbstreit? Yeah. Game day? Yeah, he was our quarterback. So for us, you knew that Kirk, since he was our quarterback, we were going to run the football because he couldn't throw the forward pass very well. So, yeah, that's why he's on game day and doing a great job, because he couldn't throw the forward pass. So, opening kickoff, we get the kickoff, we drive it down the field methodically, running the football all the way down the field, and I'm on the sidelines at this time because I'm a freshman, and, I'm like all enthralled. I'm wide-eyed, excited, like, oh, man, this is on national television, playing against a top 10 team on the road. Man, this is exciting. We get down the 5-yard line. You can't hear a thing. It's loud. And I have my helmet in my hand. I'm just watching this. Man, this is so cool. This is awesome. And gets down outside the 5-yard line, and John Cooper, who was our coach at the time, says, George, get in there. What? George, get in there. Go. Oh, my God. I throw on my helmet. I run on the football field. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, oh, my God, I'm in the game. I'm in the game. Freshman, fresh out of high school, on national television, and I think I'm going to get the football. So Kirk Herbstreit comes in the huddle with a scowl on his forehead. He says, all right, 2-7, we're going to you. We're going to you. 12 ISO, ready, break. Break the huddle. Lines up. I get in my stance, and I am nervous. I am so freaking scared. I'm like, oh, my God. Whatever I do, I'm just going to hit whatever I see. I don't care if it's the referee. I don't care if it's the other team. I don't care who it is. I'm going to run through them. It doesn't matter. And I'm just nervous. I said, okay, here we go, Eddie. He calls the huddle, calls the play. I take my drop step, get the ball. I barrel in, I score. And I say, oh, my God, I just scored on national television. Where is the cameraman? Run over to the cameraman. I say, hello, Mom. I salute the camera. Go to our fan section, and I scream, like, yes, score. We scored. We're up 14-0 at that particular time. Long story short, I go on to score 2 more times, 3 touchdowns, freshman debut on national television. And it was there that the crowd, our fans are so smart. Eddie, it was a 2-syllable word, Eddie. And they were like, okay, touchdown Eddie. And they started this chant called Eddie, 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 Eddie. And I'm just feeling life is good. After that game, we beat Syracuse, we go home. And life is great. I am on cloud 9, I'm a freshman. I went from a funny-looking kid to being fine. I'm now like getting free cheeseburgers and free pencils and books, and girls are carrying my books to class because I'm Touchdown Eddie now. I'm the man on campus. Life is great. I got my Letterman's jacket. Oh, it was awesome. And this continues on. We open up our game against Illinois that year. And at that particular time, Illinois was considered our second biggest rival to Michigan. They owned us for 2 or 3 years, so it was a tough opponent. All right, so kickoff. March the ball methodically down the football field, running the football. We get inside the 5-yard line, and it's time for Eddie time. It's Eddie, 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 Eddie. 100,000 fans strong, screaming my name. So instead of sprinting on the football field, I begin to trot. I've been taking it all in, feeling the 100,000 fans screaming my name, chanting me on, because they know I'm going to get the football. Illinois knows I'm going to get the football. Everybody knows I'm going to get the football. Brutus knows I'm going to get the football. And so I line up, and I take my time this time. I tell the ref to hold up, don't call the play, let me get set. To dig my cleats in the turf a little bit, just wiggle on in there. And I know it's 12 ISO, Kirk, just go ahead and make the call. He calls the play, take my drop step, I get the ball. I get hit low. Okay, we'll live to see another down. That's okay. I'm going to go down gracefully, and we'll go to second down. I'll get it on the second time. But as I'm going down, the ball comes out, bounces twice off the turf, goes into an Illinois defender's hands, and he runs 97 yards for a touchdown. Now, all those Eddie chants turned into boos real quick. I was devastated. Oh, God, it hurt. I went from being on top of the mountain to be down low in the valley. And it hurt. But there was still time left. The game went back and forth. Into the fourth quarter is a tight game. I think it was 18-16. We march all the way down the field. And I'm really upset at this point in time. I'm really, really hurt and mad. I'm going to hurt somebody this time. Coach Cooper reaches back, calls back. Eddie, go in there and redeem yourself. Go score the winning touchdown. All right, Coach, I got your back. I run out there. I'm like, okay, whoever gets in my way now is going to feel my wrath. They're going to feel my pain. I'm going to unleash HE double hockey sticks on them. I'm going to unload on them. I'm so pissed off. Yes. So I line up. There's a toss to the left. I take my jab step. I get the pitch. I see the defender come upfield. I cut inside. I'm making a beeline for the pylon now. Let's go and score the winning touchdown. I take my next step. I get hit from behind. Ball flies out. Illinois recovers. Game is over. I lost the game for us. In fact, my season was over. Not for just that year, but for the next 2 years. And I was in the valley again. And during that period in time, I was depressed, naturally. I was hurt. I was discouraged. But I had two choices. Either that moment defines me, or I define the moment. I thought about transferring and leaving and going to another school, maybe Penn State or Illinois, or some other school to fulfill my destiny, to change the name of my father's name, to have my father talk about me in the same way. Maybe Ohio State wasn't for me. In fact, they brought in two other running backs the following years that were ranked in the top 5 of all of high school to come replace me. So I'm at a crossroads. What am I going to do? Well, something once again deep within my spirit told me to see it through, to stick it out. So I began to work harder than anybody else. I showed up, the first person in the weight room and the last one to leave. The first person in the film room and the last one to leave. I made it a point to win every single drill, no matter it was a 5-yard sprint, tossing quarters, shooting dice. It didn't matter what it was. I embraced the mindset of a champion. Even at my lowest point, when I didn't know what was going to happen. Then a shift happened. My junior year, I went on to have success, had 1,400 yards, second team all Big Ten, relatively a good year. Well, for most places, a great year, but Ohio State, you're okay. Then, my senior year, it all kind of came together. Had the perfect team. We had Orlando Pace, who was considered one of the greatest tackles to ever play at Ohio State and probably in the NFL. We had Bobby Hoying, who was an adequate quarterback. We had the late Terry Glenn, who was our receiver. We had a tight end who was fantastic in Ricky Dudley. We had a strong, powerful fullback in Nicky Sualoa. So we had a whole great team that year. And we could sense that we were going to do something special. And we did. Went 10-0. But here it came. Time for my moment of truth. Illinois, my nemesis. Came to Ohio State, talking a lot of trash, saying that they owned us. They talked about my fumbles, how I fumbled a lot. And it came on a day when it was snowing, a beautiful Ohio day, when it was snowing sideways in the stadium, missing our wide receiver, Terry Glenn. And that meant that we were going to run the football in between the tackles. Long story short, I wound up rushing for 314 yards and 3 touchdowns, which still is a single game record in Ohio State history. And I went on to win the Heisman Trophy that year. Not. That was a dramatic pause for the applause. I appreciate it. But after I won the Heisman, it was like, oh man, my dream is fulfilled now. My father is back in my life. He's talking about me the same way he talked about Jim Brown. It's, my God, Eddie, you can do it all. You can make a miss. You can run over him. You can do all. You're the perfect back I've ever seen. And that meant something to me. I went on to play 9 years in the NFL. Started off with the Tennessee Titans. And my gosh, we just had a draft this past week. And I'll never forget my draft weekend in New York City. My family's there. My mom, my sister, my cousins were all there in New York City. I get my NFL hat. At that time, it was Paul Tagliabue who was the commissioner. And everything was great. And just when you think that, all NFL players and we all are irresponsible with our money and we have these extravagant parties and we're just irresponsible. Well, I'm here to tell you that all of that is true. Every last bit of it is true. And I lived that life for 9 great years. It was incredible. Celebrities were now were fans of me. Denzel Washington, Michael Jordan, politicians, entrepreneurs, a who's who of entertainers all knew my name. It was crazy. And it was an unbelievable life, full of yachts and limos and cigars and big-time money. It was wonderful. Super Bowls, first-class treatment. And I thought this was going to last forever. And that's when the business side kicks in. See, what happens with the NFL running back is that they look at certain numbers. And the numbers that they look at are the number of carries you have that you've accumulated over years of time. They look at the number of your age if you're in your late 20s to early 30s, which is considered old, which is really mind-boggling, but anyway. And they look at your salary, how much you're making. All that says that Eddie George is now on his way out of the door. And I knew it would be a time when that would happen, but I didn't think it would happen so soon. The moment I realized that my career was done, I'll never forget this. I was in Dallas my last year. And it was in the middle of the season. I think we won maybe 4 games at that point. We sucked, okay? And Bill Parcells, who was a Hall of Fame coach, who's a hardcore, just a dictator of a coach, was our leader. And I remember that I wasn't playing at that particular time. I was a scout team guy. All of you athletes in here know what scout team is, right? I assume that you are actually being the dummy for the starting group. So I was no longer a starter. I was just trying to find my role on the team just to help them win. And I remember standing in a huddle for goal line period. And Tony Romo, who was the 3rd-string quarterback at that particular time, was running the drill. And as he's calling the play, I remember just dozing off, just in thought, like, wow, I've accomplished so much in my life as an NFL athlete. I've overcome so much. I went through Fort Union Military Academy, found my way to Ohio State, overcame the fumbles against Illinois to become a Heisman Trophy winner. Go on to play in Houston to face the challenges of moving and all that stuff, to become a Tennessee Titan and to go to the Super Bowl. All of these great things that I've accomplished. And I'm thinking to myself, damn, I'm reduced to a scout team fullback on goal line. Wow. He calls the huddle, ready, break. Oh, I don't know the play. Okay, I can figure this out. If he opens up right, I'll just go right. If he opens up left, I'll go left. Okay, I'm a savvy veteran. I'll figure this out. So Tony calls the play. He opens up right. Oh, good. I'll go right. Take my step, come downhill. He continues to come back and hands the ball off to my left. I go the wrong way. And Bill Parcells, who's a Hall of Fame coach, he's a dictator, he's hardcore, yells, "George, get the hell off my football field. You're ruining my drill." He didn't say ruining, he used the F word in place of that. So it was extremely embarrassing. It was hurtful. So I knew then if I got kicked off of the scout team, that my career as an NFL running back was over. And it was. The following season, I was 31, newly married, with a child on my way, my youngest, who was now 13. And I was left with questions like, wow, did that just really happen? What happened? How did I go from this to here and back down to the valleys again? What am I going to do next? I spent my entire life, my entire childhood life, trying to reach this goal. I've reached this goal, and now it's over. The age of 31 years old. So I fell into a state of depression, and I had to seek out help. I got help, and I've been able to redefine myself since that time through my 3 E's. And it's not Eddie, Eddie, Eddie. It's education, entertainment, and entrepreneurship. Through education, I began to take my education very seriously. I got my degree in landscape architecture at Ohio State University through the School of Engineering. So I know a little bit about horticulture. I went back and got my MBA from Kellogg School of Management at Northwestern. And now I am currently an adjunct professor at The Ohio State University at the Fisher School of Business, teaching on this very course. So if you come to Ohio State, sign up for my class. I'm not going to guarantee you an A. You got to work for it. But it's a course that talks about the business of professional sports, the lifestyle, the stories, everything that makes up the business from a holistic perspective. In the entertainment world, the arts was such a huge lifeline for me. Like I said, I was depressed. I fell into a state of depression because I had a chest full of ambition, so much more energy, so much more to give that I didn't have an outlet to give that in or form. So I was able to find that in acting, in theater. And I sought out an acting coach, started taking acting lessons, and I'll tell you what, the scariest thing that I've ever did in my life, and I played against some great players in my lifetime, Ray Lewis and Junior Seau and Reggie White, and I mean some grown men, some beasts. And they struck a little fear in me, but nothing was as fearful as coming on stage with the bright lights, having to act. And I'll never forget my first acting role. I played the role of God. And my lines were, and God himself stepped down with the sun in his right hand, the moon in his left, the stars clustered above his head, and the earth under his feet. And God walked where he trod, hollowed the valleys out, and bulged the mountains up. That's what I was supposed to say. It was a play, and it was a bunch of people on stage. There were streamers and a world and all these dancers and drums and everything going on. And I'm just, in the back saying, okay, when it's my turn, just go out, just deliver your lines and walk off. So it's my turn to come down and deliver my lines. So I come down stage, center stage, and I look into the audience, and I notice my wife, and I see some of my ex-teammates over here kind of snickering like, okay, Eddie George, you're acting now? All right, let's see this. Act. And I'm nervous, and I begin to say my lines, and I say, and God himself stepped down with the sun in his right hand and the moon in his left. The wind is blowing. The grass is green. The water is blue, and it's cold. The animals are in the pasture. And God said, "That's good," and walked off the stage. I knew how to improv then, but no one else knew but my cast members knew it. And they said, "Oh my God, he just was terrible. I was awful." So in fashion of me, I like to go out and conquer things and meet the challenge. So I came out and I did it again. I fell in love with the challenge of acting. And I had a chance to filter a lot of the resentment or the anger, the fear through character, through writing, through my stories. And that's been a huge thing for me. So since that time, I've been doing Shakespeare. I've done straight plays. I'm currently doing the touring company of Chicago, which I did here actually in town earlier this year, singing on stage, and that's a whole other story unto itself. But it's opened up so many doors for me. Through entrepreneurship, like I said, I studied landscape architecture. I started my own firm in 2003, the Edge Group, which still does business to this day. I'm segueing, I'm getting out of that business now and doing more financial services as a wealth manager, and just doing various investments throughout. So through my 3 E's, I've been able to really redefine myself and continue to redefine myself after my playing days. And you might ask the question, like, well, how do you find time to sleep? I'm a father on top of that. I'm a husband of a demanding wife, and I've got to tend to her. So you're like, well, how does he do it all? How is he doing it all? I'll tell you how I do it all. I prioritize through my 4 pillars, and that's the spiritual pillar, mental pillar, social pillar, and the physical pillar. Under the mental pillar, what a man thinketh, he is. Religious leader David O. McKay says, "The greatest battles of life are fought daily in the silent chambers of the soul." I had to understand that I had to divorce myself from being an athlete, or to think I came on this earth only to be an athlete. I had to get clarity on who I was. And like I said, through counseling and through a strong support system within my family, I've been able to find other gifts and other talents. So as I transitioned through, I was able to find that. And it was very uncomfortable to do that. So what's going into my mind, the things that I'm reading, the things that I look at, people that I follow on social media, has to be something of construction. Not destruction, but something that's constructive, that's gearing toward your end goal and what that looks like for you. So having a mental, clear picture of what I wanted to be now in my second life was so critical. So my mental pillar, I spent constant time making sure that I'm not putting garbage in my mind, but putting quality in my mind. Because as garbage goes in, garbage goes out. The physical pillar. You probably look at me now, and I've been retired for 12 years, and I look in decent shape. And yeah, I've been in decent shape. I'm not quite in playing shape. You might think I'm trying to make a comeback, but no, I try to stay in shape to keep my wife interested still. She married me when I had a six-pack. I'm holding on to 4, and I just got to keep her interested. But seriously, I've learned that in my playing days, preparing for an NFL season, you have to be comfortable in the uncomfortable. And that was my saying. I had to learn to be uncomfortable, to feel comfortable in an uncomfortable state while I was working out. Because who you are in those states and how you respond in those states of being is how you're going to respond to everyday life. If you panic while you're working out because you feel like your lungs are going to burst and you feel the lactic acid building in your legs, you feel you can't go another step, and you begin to panic and lose your breath and spaz out, more than likely, when you're presented with a challenge in life, you're going to respond the same way. So I continue to challenge myself physically. I continue to push myself in those states where I want to give up and give in, and to continue to find myself through, because I'm going to face those challenges in everyday life. So the physical is so important, and your body just reaps the benefits of that. In the social, iron sharpens iron. Friends sharpen the minds of each other. Just take a quick look around you for a moment. These kids in here, this is your ecosystem. You guys are all growing together. You're part of a great organization. And these are friendships and relationships that you're going to have probably for the rest of your life. I'm pretty sure most of you will go on to do great things and go on to be awesome people and great businessmen and great businesswomen. And it's important to have people around you that are of like-mindedness, that are doing things that are on a positive level. So that social element is so important. Who is sharpening your mind on a daily basis? If you're hanging out with kids that are constantly want to focus on hanging out and doing things that are not pushing your goals forward, you've got to get them out of your life. And as you move forward in life, you'll find that your circle of friends will get smaller and smaller and smaller. And it's okay. That's the social. And the last but not least, the spiritual. A French philosopher said, we are not human beings having a spiritual experience, but we are spiritual beings having a human experience. Where you guys are at now in your lives, you're probably thinking that, who is this old man that's talking to me? You know? And you have so much time. And you do, you got plenty of time. But in the next 4 years, your lives are going to change so drastically. You will say, you're thinking now you're 15, 16, 18 years old. The next thing you know, you're 25. And the next thing you know, you're 44 with kids. I have a 21-year-old son. I have a 13-year-old son. My 21-year-old is a junior in college. It goes by so fast. So, I say all that to say, having a relationship, thinking or being open to something greater than yourself, and this is not a religious agenda at all, but a spiritual one. Having a true relationship with God is so important. Because for me, to take this kid from Philadelphia with a 1.3 GPA to Fort Union Military Academy, to find my way here at Ohio State, to go through the valleys of my fumbles, to go through the valleys of being told I was too slow, too big, too whatever to play running back, to win a Heisman Trophy, to go from the valleys of finishing my career on a low end, to playing Billy Flynn on Broadway, getting my Sirius 7, doing all these things I'm doing now in my life, had to be with God. There was no other way, for me speaking. You can do it by yourself, and you'll have success, but not nearly as great success as walking with God. So as you will go through your own peaks and valleys, because they're coming, they're right around the corner. Most of you will probably be graduating, going into college next year. Some of you are transitioning to the next grade. Those waves, those peaks and valleys are going to come. My question to you is, what will your pillars be? So what I offer to you is a blueprint of the things that I've gone through in my career, in my life. The things that I tell my own children, I impart that on to you. And I pray and hope that you rely on the resources around you and to take one little thing away from what I had to say tonight and build on a fabulous, fabulous future for yourselves. Because life is good. It truly is. And when you embrace being in the valleys, when you embrace the hard times that you're probably going to encounter, it builds your character. Those are moments and opportunities to really dig in and find out who you are. And if you really want what it is that you set your heart to, because it's not going to be easy, and nor should it. So, in closing, this is one of my favorite quotes. I had the opportunity to play Julius Caesar a few years ago. And one of his quotes still sticks with me to this day. And it goes like this. A coward dies many times before their deaths. The valiant never taste of death but once. Of all the wonders that I yet have heard, it seems to me most strange that men should fear, seeing that death, a necessary end, will come. Will and will come. Congratulations. God bless. I enjoyed being with you tonight. Thank you very much.
Ms. George, thank you for sharing your story with us, that we have to define every moment, that we have to grow spiritually, physically, and socially, and that we can do anything we really strive to be. Ohio FA, give him one more round of applause for the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Eddie George. Please help me welcoming back to the stage Colson McCoy and Marley Kerr to close out this evening's session.
It was so amazing to see so many of our members and supporters recognized for the difficult roads they've chosen to take.
Not to mention each and every one of the beautiful destinations some of our members experience right here on this stage. And the inspiration to always keep going through the motivational words of our keynote speaker.
We learned that the difficult road can truly take us somewhere amazing. Ohio FFA, as we conclude this evening's session, we hope to see you all bright and early for the start of Session 3, where we will learn to leave a legacy. Make sure to be back in these seats for our pre-session, which starts at 9 a.m. Have a great night. Mr. Secretary, do you have a record of any further business which should now be transacted?
I have none, Mr. President.
Does any member have any new or unfinished business which should properly come before this session? We are about to adjourn this, the third session of the 90th Annual Ohio FFA State Convention. As we mingle with others, let us be diligent in labor, just in our dealings, courteous to everyone, and above all, honest and fair in the game of life. Fellow members and guests, please join me in a salute to our flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, I now declare this session adjourned.
What a thrill. Eddie George, the keynote speaker of Session 2 of the 90th State FFA Convention here in Columbus at the Ohio Expo Center. Ty Higgins with the Ohio AgNet and Ohio's Country Journal. To my left is Courtney Heiser, Emily Bookless, and Lauren Gardner. And ladies, wasn't that a great way to end day number one? Oh, yes. So tell me about some of the things that we saw. We saw a lot of big degrees, the American Star and the State Star. Those are not easy to get.
We've seen the Stars Over Ohio and Proficiency winners, and congrats to all of them, those awesome accomplishments.
Now, I like you three an awful lot, but when I have a Heisman Trophy winner stand beside me, I'm going to say hi to Mr. Eddie George. How you doing?
I'm doing well, man, doing well. Just got off stage, and I thought it went pretty well, so it was good.
It was so well received because it's such a special message. You and I, we're about the same age, and we have seen the peaks and valleys in our industries and in our lives. A lot of these young kids have only seen peaks, and their mom and dad tell them how great they are every day, and grandma and grandpa are out there in the audience clapping for them. They have some tough days ahead, but you let them realize and let them know that there are going to be those valleys, but there are ways out of it, and there's life after success to find more success in your later years.
No question. I mean, your latter end will be greater than your beginning, and that's one of the things that I wanted to impart onto them. And I know they're going through their challenges right now. I mean, listen, kids have it tough. They have their own challenges. It's not every day they wake up and there's butterflies flying and the grass is green. I mean, they've got to study. They've got to be students. They fight peer pressure, bullying. I mean, all of that comes into the factors. But I'm here to tell them that if they can use that as fuel for their fire and find ways of allowing other gifts to come forward through a lot of those challenges, then they'll find success, and that there's hope. And that's the core of the message, is that you have hope. When you're faced with adversity, when you're faced with the challenge, when life just smacks you down, there's hope. And I'm just in my own life a witness to that. I've seen so many great things happen, people fighting through illnesses, through diagnosis, through accidents. I mean, finding success because it's there as a blessing. And if you're going through something like that, there's no need to fret or be afraid of it. Embrace it, take it head on, and see it through.
These three ladies are here as our student reporters with the Ohio AgNet for the next couple of days, so I want to give them the opportunity to ask you a couple of questions after hearing you speak on stage.
All right. The struggles you faced definitely shaped your life. Do you have any words of advice for kids or anyone who's struggling? What would you say to them?
I would definitely say embrace the struggle, and you have a choice to make. Either you find ways to allow it to strengthen you, or you can allow it to defeat you. And I like to believe that, we think about defeat at first, but then we've got to find ways and the strength to get up and find a way to make it happen for yourselves. So often our struggles are there as obstacles, and usually obstacles are like big objects. Just think of it that way. And instead of seeing it as a big object, use it as a way to make you stronger, like lifting weights. And that's how I had to use a lot of my own personal setbacks and struggles. I used that as like lifting weights to make me stronger. It gives you endurance. It gives you hope. It gives you strength to move on in your life. And when you break through that obstacle, you'll see a tremendous weight lifted off of you. You're just like, God, I make it. I can make it happen. And it prepares you for the next phase of your life. So that's what I would say to young kids that are facing struggles, because this is not a struggle-free life, and you've got to see it for what it is, and it's a true blessing if you allow it to be.
Thank you.
So my question for you was, how was life like after football? Like, what all did you do, and how did you, finish life after football and just get through it?
Yeah, it was very difficult. It was a time when I really didn't know what I wanted to do, and that was a moment of clarity for me. Was, my God, I still have so much life to have, and so much more to give. How do I give it? What forms do I give it in? And I opened myself up to all the possibilities. And I began to act. I began to take singing lessons. I wanted to get into business. I went to business school. Anything and everything that I could keep myself on the right track of doing in terms of being constructive, that's what I did. And I was able to really define my own niche now. And it's through repetition after repetition, and it's trial and error. It's in life, it's not like a football player where you can see the results immediately. Sometimes you don't see results for years, and that sucks. But you have to hold on to it. You have to hope and believe in it. And if it's in your heart to do it, continue to do it. So after football was my greatest challenge, and it continues to be, but I've had some successes that keeps me going.
That's awesome. Thank you.
So you mentioned going to military school, and I'm just wondering how different your life would be if your mom wouldn't have sent you there and you wouldn't have had that reinforcement.
That is an excellent question. I don't think I would be here. I know I wouldn't be here because it really changed my view of my education, of my life. I really didn't talk about it in depth because of time, but that was a pivotal moment in my life, and I'm glad my mother did it because it instilled discipline in me. It showed me that it was a mirror. It showed me exactly where I was at the age of 15. I lacked work ethic. I was not mentally tough. I didn't embrace my education. I was a baby. I had to grow up. So all of those things I really had to address while I was there, and I couldn't hide from that. So being in that environment, again, I made the choice to say, okay, I'm going to embrace my education. I'm going to be the best leader, the best person I could be. And that made me a better football player in the end. and that led me to where I am now. So to answer the question, I don't think I will be talking to you. I'll probably be, doing something great in a bad way. I'll put it to you that way. So that's the path I was on.
All right. Well, thank you for your time.
Thank you for having me. Good luck to you guys, and congratulations.
Thank you.
I speak for all these ladies and for all the ones viewing that thank you for stopping by and giving us time. And I have to tell you that as I was growing up, Ohio State football was not a whole lot of fun when we were kids, was it? But when you came, it was a bright spot, and my hair caught fire when you ran 207 yards against Notre Dame on that same year you won the Heisman. And it's just a pleasure to meet you. And we see all those peaks that you had in your career. We always saw the touchdowns, and we saw the Heisman. We saw the chance of Eddie. But you shared with us those valleys today, and that takes a lot of courage. And for these kids to see that what goes on behind the scenes sometimes isn't as glorious as what they see on TV or reading the papers, it's really important to share, and we thank you for that message.
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Eddie George, 1995 Heisman Trophy winner and Ohio State Buckeye, our guest on the Ohio AgNet. Ladies, great job as always, wrapping up session number 2. And, of course, it all starts again bright and early tomorrow morning here at the Ohio Expo Center with session 3 of the 90th Ohio FFA State Convention. I'm Ty Higgins for the Ohio AgNet. Thanks for watching our coverage on the Ohio AgNet, brought to you by Wilmington College. We'll see you down the road.
As a former Ohio FFA officer, I believe that the future of agriculture continues here at Wilmington College.